You will remember, possibly, we went way ahead to step 28 so we could find a whole bunch of little small pieces and get them painted up. All these little parts we've done, we've got them painted, and I think I remember saying we're at the middle of the book because here's the staples. And if I didn't say it, I'm saying it now. Now, I don't think we're anywhere near the middle of the job. Anyway, we got to go back here. All these little parts we've got and painted. So we have to go back to 24 here. And this is probably going to be the last time I'm going to be able to lay the manual on top of the deck like this. It's going to be loaded with delicate stuff very shortly. So we've got to put a bunch of little parts. These are going to go all around here. These ones here, well, they're going to go around here. And then this piece is going to go right across. Well, that goes right here. Anyway, let's just take it one piece at a time. Well, we may as well start with this piece that goes into this right here. And it appears to me, you know, it's got a little peg right here and a peg right there. And it looks mirror image. In other words, it looks the same at this end as that end. And I can well imagine that on the real ship, it was kind of like that. It probably was designed in such a way that it didn't matter which way the catapult went out. The track would be the same both ends. Makes sense anyway. I think probably just a little bit of CA. That's all we need. Yeah. I think that's probably the first time that I've put CA glue on this model right from the bottle. Yeah, it seems like it's going to be okay. Here we go, E15. Little pegs on the bottom there. They have to fit in these little holes here. Now this is actually the first time I've tried it, so I'm pretty sure that that one goes in there, but I could be wrong. See if that goes in there. Yeah, it just sort of falls into place there. Does that look right? That feels right. So then this one I go on this side. You know, I will say something for Trumpeter. They make stuff fit pretty good. I didn't think though that this part here was supposed to hang over the edge of the deck. Let's see if we can see what that looks like on the drawing that Stefan did. Okay, this part right here that I was wondering about. See if I can carefully put this on here now. Is actually this piece right here, and I don't know if you can see that, but it actually does come out over the wall of the superstructure below it. Now I know for some of these other pieces I used the extra thin and just put it on and let it wick its way along. It sort of turned the paint into glue. And then I'm going to just try that here and just see what happens. See if it's going to make a big mess, or now I've done the other one on the other side exactly the same way. Now remember our little gun barrel cleaners. We need 4 of them. Now I know they're not painted underneath, but we're not going to see that anyway. Once they're right side up. And they go, I think, one goes here, one goes here, one goes here, and one goes here. Now you'll notice there's little pegs on the bottom of the center supports. Well, they're supposed to probably go on these holes right here. Once again, looks like a perfect fit. Did I get it? I did know for sure. Okay, I'll put a little bit of pressure on there. The plastic will start to dissolve and it should sort of weld itself into place there. It won't be falling out, that's for sure. Now I'll just do the other 3 the same way. Okay, we got 4 in place now. Now I was looking at this little piece right here, and I was noticing that, well, I'm going to have to paint that because it's, showing up pretty bad. Just bare plastic there. Doesn't match the rest of it. And then I realized I've put it on upside down. Yeah, if we look at Stefan's drawing here, you can see that it's sort of up above the edge of the deck. Here's a picture of the starboard side. And I think I found a better one too. Let's see if I can come to it here. There we go. It's on the very next page. Now you can see here there's these covers here. They're supposed to fold down to protect it. I don't know if it's protected from the weather or protected from bullets. Probably both. But is it supposed to be a light? Or is it maybe a loudspeaker? And when the captain's up on the captain's bridge and he's looking down, he can say, "Hey, Swabby, you missed a spot." Well, maybe not. Now, I have been pronouncing our artist's name Stefan. Maybe that's not right. I have a brother named Stephen, but it's not spelled like that. Now, this is not exactly what I had intended to do here. I had wanted to put the other 6 pieces like this on the stern section. Or I guess they would be called the aft section. And I want to be careful I don't accidentally break this off. This is extremely fragile. But what I want to try and do is see if I can't maybe remove this without breaking it. But I don't think it's going to work. I'm using the rubber tip tweezer so that I don't scratch the paint off. Is this coming or no? Yeah, it's kind of coming. It's probably going to break the, yeah, it did. It broke the peg off. So that means it's going to be a little bit difficult. And I have to turn it over and hold it while the glue sets. I'll think of something. Okay, here's my plan. What if I have a little block of wood or something here that I can sort of, use as a steady rest? Because I'm going to have to hold this for a few seconds before I let go of it. So I think that's a good idea, except that this is too thick. I got a workshop full of wood that's half that thick. Now, who says it has to be wood? Saves me having to put my shoes on so I don't go down in my workshop in my socks. Okay, now I want to be careful I don't break these little things off. And am I going to clear the gun now? Yeah, just. Maybe I should use a different tweezer. Okay, here's the plan. I'm going to just put a little bit of extra thin on the end of here and soften the end of this. Now, very gently, just hold it there. Now, can I release that without it falling off? Oh, not done yet. No, having trouble releasing it. Have to readjust here. I also want to be careful I don't let it go pinging off somewhere. Oh, no, it's tilted too much the other way. My cardboard's slipping here. Now they fell off. I can just hear the laughter. Okay, let's try this again here. Might have to re-glue. Oops. Whew, that was close. I saw where it landed. I'm just going to re-glue here. Probably going to have to repaint. Okay, let's try this again here. Well, does that look straight? That looks a little better, I think. Okay, once the solvent evaporates out of that plastic, I think it'll be pretty good. Okay, now we can put our 6 pieces on the aft section, the same as we did on the fore section. Don't want to drop it down there. Maybe it's not a good idea to put it up there. Murphy's Law probably applies upstairs just like it does downstairs in the workshop. Okay, we just have to glue this piece and this one here. Don't want to touch it because I might knock it over. Now here's another one of my theories that's probably not 100% true. In fact, it's not true at all, but it's kind of amusing. And I'm finding that the parts on this kit fit together so well. In other words, the holes and the pegs, they all line up so well, and everything's just lining up so perfectly. Like, remember way back when we put the main deck onto the hull? It hardly needed to be glued down. Anyway, I think that what I probably could have done, and here's the part that isn't true, I could have snipped everything off of the sprues, put everything into a great big box, like a box that a refrigerator would come in, shake it up for a little while, open the box, and the entire model would be all assembled. No gluing necessary. Okay, very gently now. Just sort of press down on it, wiggle it around, smoosh the plastic, and slowly release. And just in case when I released it came up a little bit, I'll just very gently here. But I don't think it did. Okay. Now this one here, I can hardly see it there. I should maybe turn the ship around. Watch out for the ladder. I probably don't need to put as much solvent on as I do. Okay. I'll use this as a steady rest here. Notice how the paint sort of smooshes out and welds everything together. Okay, those 6 pieces are done. Now, while it is true, these 2 pieces are identical to each other, as near as I can tell, there probably is a right way and a wrong way for them to go on. You remember we put a little photo etch piece. Where did we put it? No, we put it right here in this end, I believe. Yeah. So I want to check Stefan's book and see if we can't maybe see that. I do have a faint recollection of seeing that. Okay, after checking the book and also looking closely at the drawing, a person would have to be a complete idiot to not get this right. Alrighty. Now on the bottom there you can see that round tube. I think that's supposed to somehow fit into these little and I guess the idea is it would stick the same amount out each end. I'm assuming that we're supposed to glue it in place, retract it all the way in. Makes sense to me. And what I'm planning to do is mount each one of the aircraft on these places here, where these little cradles are supposed to come up out of the deck. Well, you'll see when we get to that part. Yeah, I think that's the place to put them. Well, they could be mounted partially out. Whoops. Why don't I just leave well enough alone? Go like that. And like that. You know what? I'm going to page ahead a bit in the instructions here. And I'm just going to check and make sure that these are supposed to be mounted, butted together in the back like that. Okay, all the drawings that I've seen show these things drawn all the way back so that they butt together right here in the center of the hull. And but you know, I don't think they have to be glued down right away. It's not like I'm going to be turning this ship on its side or upside down. I don't think anyway, so they're not going to fall out. So just in case I want to change something later, I can always glue them down later. I don't see any reason why not at this point. So I'm not going to glue these down. I'm just going to leave them just the way you see them here. Now here's another line of thinking. If I'm not going to be gluing them in right now, I think possibly a good idea would be to just keep them, you know, don't have them out here where they can be possibly damaged. Now I was going to pull these little ladders off of here to go down the hatchways, and then I was noticing, well, there's 3 ladders and only 2 hatchways, so I went ahead in the instructions. These 3 ladders are for another step, but these ones here that we did some time ago have a different part number. So obviously they're a little bit bigger. And so I'm thinking they are the ones that are supposed to go down here and here. And I think they go something like this. Most of it we're not going to see unless we look at it. Oh no! Very hard to hold these tweezers together from a way out here. If I used a pair of pliers on the end, that might do it. Okay, let's not do that again, okay? We are going to do it differently this time. There. Now there's just a little ledge that's sitting on. If the bottom moves even 1/8 of an inch this way, it's going to fall back down in the hole again. Now that top step that you're looking at is almost perfectly level with the top of the deck. And I think what I'm going to try to do is just put a little bit of extra thin here. And I'm going to have to repaint because you're probably noticing that I've scratched the top of the deck a bit there. And I'm thinking I'm just going to let that solidify, and then I'm going to put some CA glue on it. But I'm afraid to try and fool around with my needle with the CA glue on it and accidentally knock it back down into the hull. I think this is the way to go about it. I wonder if I should just put a tiny bit of pressure on here. I think that may have helped. Push it into the molten plastic. Okay, we'll leave that for a few minutes. Okay, I'll repaint that later. Now the other ladder I'm going to do exactly the same way, except I'm not going to drop it down into the hull. And I think that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.